Hello, you're welcome to my channel, King Charles channel, where you are learning basic topics on economics. So today we are going straight to economic planning, and we have some good topics lined out for you on economic planning. Thank you. Please share this video if you find it useful, subscribe and like. Thank you and enjoy the class. Here, you are being taught to become fully an economist because the core of being an economist is the ability to help to plan and stabilize the economy. What do you understand by plan? It is a roadmap. It is the pathway. It is the map, or what do you call this when you are building a house? It's a plan, a sketch. You understand? That shows what you hope to do, when you hope to do them, and even how you hope to do them. Planning is interpreted as a process to develop a strategy to achieve desired objectives, as to solve a problem and to facilitate action. Planning is interpreted as a process to develop a strategy to achieve desired objectives, to solve problems, and to facilitate action. It implies centralized control, conscious and deliberate layout of the national resources with a specific end in view. What it means is that in planning, you put all you have, all you expect to get on one side of the table, and then put all you want on the other side of the table. Today, we want good roads. We want good roads. We want good healthcare. We want good schools. We want so many good things as a country. We want so many good things as a country, but there is a limit to what we can do at a particular point in time. There is a limit to what we can achieve at a particular point in time. Basically because of what? The scarcity of resources. Now, it now calls for conscious and deliberate action to put out all the resources we have, spread them out and see how can we utilize this, how can we manage this to achieve these numerous goals or objectives or desires that we have. So we tend to formulate certain objectives in line with the available resources. In line with the what? Available resources. So it therefore means that to plan is to act in the light of definite predetermined objectives by designing and manipulating factors which govern the achievement of the given targets so as to attain specific goals within the time limit which the planner sets to achieve. As a country, for instance, in Nigeria, we look at mineral resources that we are endowed with. We have natural resources, natural resources and human resources. All of these are being put into consideration when making any national plan. There must be a roadmap that shows how Nigeria wants to travel. You want to have dual carriage lanes across all the 36 states of the Federation plus the FCT. You must tell us how you want to get there with the available resources. You want to have University of Technology across all the 36 states of the Federation plus the FCT. You have to put a roadmap to how you want to get that. You want to have a sound healthcare delivery in Nigeria to the point that we can start earning foreign exchange from healthcare delivery. What do I mean? A situation where people who are sick in neighboring countries, Niger, and Chad, and Cameroon, and so on, decide to seek medical care from Nigeria. This is going to be adding to our revenue as a country. The reason being that these people are going to source for dollars to pay for their medical care, so we earn more foreign exchange. The same thing goes for education. We can have a sound system of educational system that people from neighboring countries will come here to school, thereby bringing in more revenue. When we talk about earning foreign exchange, it shouldn't be based on agricultural produce or mineral products alone. There are so many other things that we can earn from. Tourism is there. So planning is one holistic process that take care of or that captures the available resources, the expected revenue from the available resources, and the expected result or the outcome or objectives that we wish to what? To actualize. It is like a document that shows where we are, where we want to be, and how to get there. That is a plan. Now, there are characteristics. How do you identify a document as a plan? Or how do you say that a particular policy or a particular process can be termed as a plan or as a planning or as an economic plan? For you to consider any document or any policy as an economic plan, there are certain characteristics. There are certain what characteristics? One of which is that there must be a system of economic organization. There must be a system of what? Economic organization. In other words, it must show that it comprises of entire economic structure. Now, it consists of various comprehensive activities of production, consumption, distribution, exchange, and finances. They are well planned, well defined in a coordinated manner to attain various economic and social objectives. To attain various economic and social objectives. It means that you don't just, it's not just a mere document. When you say a document is an economic plan, it's not just a document that is haphazardly arranged or something. It is a well-structured and well-organized document that shows the processes of production, the consumption, the distribution, how exchanges are going to be carried out, how the finances that are needed are going to be, gotten. So when you have that, then you can say such a document is an economic plan. Then there must be what we call targets and priorities. That is number 2. For you to say that this is an economic plan, then such a document must have target and priorities. What is a target? What is a priority? In my example earlier, I said the country want to network, have a dual carriage lane across the 36 states of the Federation. You want to increase healthcare delivery in all the states of the Federation so high that we start earning from the health sector or health care. Now, this is a target. This is actually a target. Now, to achieve this, to hit this target, there must be priorities. There must be what? Priorities. There are things you have to prioritize before this target can be hit. Of course, if we are talking about healthcare delivery, to improve the healthcare delivery, that we can start attracting healthcare earning from neighboring countries and abroad, what it implies is that you must prioritize the healthcare education. Of course, you must prioritize research and development in the healthcare industry. You must prioritize production of healthcare facilities within the country. These are priorities. So you can't say you want to be the top 10 medical healthcare delivery in the world, or you want to be number one in Africa, and you are not prioritizing the key areas. This is what we are talking about. Another characteristic is that it must be central. It must be what? Central. There must be central planning authority. There must be an authority that centrally plan and coordinate the planning process. It's not something that one leader or one person will just come up from nowhere and then at the end of the day draft a plan and say everybody should follow. No. There must be a planning commission, a central body that organize, put all these. There are so many questions that need to be answered. Put all these questions together, answer them section by section, and come up with a formidable and actualizable economic plan. Then, another characteristic, time period. You can say time period, you can say certain period. For any document to be seen as a relevant economic, a potent economic development plan, it must be for a period of time, for a specific period of time. Because we cannot just design a plan and say that the plan will be for ever. It cannot be forever. It will have to start sometime and end at certain time. Let's say a period of 4 years, let's say a period of 5 years, let's say a period of 10 years, no problem, but it should start and end at some point. The last characteristic is that there must be government regulation and control. There must be government regulation and what? And control. It's an economic plan, of course, with a central planning authority or a planning commission, of course, that have a target and have a target and priority, of course. Then it must be regulated by somebody. It must be controlled by somebody. So it should have the government control. It is that government control that shows that this document have legal standing or legal backing. You understand? So far, we gave 5 characteristics. 1, the system of economic organization. 2, determination of target and priorities. 3, central planning. 4, specific period. 5, government regulation and control. Nigeria has never been known for poor planning. I can assure you that we have one of the best plans in the world, and this is visible from our access to various global loan facilities or credit facilities as a country. And I need to tell you that no country or no monetary organization, no finance firm in the world will want to give a country loan for which they don't have a concrete evidence of how these loans are going to be repaid. Of course, even the mini financial institutions within the state, within the country, will not give you a loan for business if your business is not promising. Your business your business plan must be enticing. It must be mouth-watering for any of these financial organizations to put up, to commit their funds to you, to entrust you with their money to go into business. So it is the same thing. Nigeria is known for a very good plan. Most of our plans are very, very robust, all encompassing, and then usually touch the key areas. And so when these foreign bodies or foreign organizations sees the plan, oh, wow, Nigeria is willing to commit so and so into agriculture, and they hope to be food sufficient in the next 10 years. They'll be producing so tons of rice and so tons of grains in a year. No, that is good. We can support. Now, food agencies of the world, or the one you call FAO, when they look at that part of agriculture, if they have any low credit scheme, they will give support to Nigeria. But where we have our problem, as we continue to study this course, you will realize where some of these problems are coming from. And though some theorists will say Nigeria's problem is implementation, sometimes our problem is we do not have a good view of where we are. That is a major problem. Most times we already know, yes, implementation. When it comes to the award of contract and all of those things, some people will siphon the money, and some people will do this, some people will not do that. When a monitoring team and evaluation team comes, they can be bribed, all of that. Yes, no problem. But sometimes we do not have good view of where we are. Because if you do not know where you are, you might have an idea of where you want to be, but you won't know how to get there. For instance, how many tons of grains do we produce in Nigeria today in a year? I can assure you, when you have these figures, sometimes they are not a true reflection of the grains that we produce in Nigeria. Sometimes they are underreported, and sometimes, unfortunately, to make the government in power look like they are trying, they might be over presented. So when, for instance, we are producing, I'm just using an instance, we are producing in actual sense 150 million tons of grains per year. Our consumption of grains per year is 450 million tons of grain, which means we are importing a total of 300 million tons of grain per year. Yes, to cushion the gap, to fill the gap. Now, good. Now, what it means now is that you now make a plan, and you're in your report or in the statistics that was taken, you reported that we are producing 250 million tons of rice per year already. That shows where we are. But if you look at the two pictures now, where we truly are is 150 million, but you put us at 250 million. Now, when you want to now plan, you plan for 350 million. And in real sense, you may not get 350 million. Because you say you want to start producing additional 100 tons of rice. When you add additional grains, when you add additional 100 tons to the existing 250, it will be 350, right? But the real figure is 150. So when you add 100 million tons additionally to 150, it becomes 350. We'll still have shortage. We'll still be importing. So somebody will be like, we are producing this. This is where we have been producing this. We have started producing additional 100 million tons and we are still importing. We didn't know where we were at the point. Now, there are reasons for economic plan in underdeveloped countries, why they are very, very necessary. One of those reasons is that uh, the private sector in some of these underdeveloped countries are very weak. Weak private sector is one of the reasons. And how is weak private sector a necessity or a reason for serious economic plan in a country? It is because in most countries of the world today, particularly free economy, countries that are practicing free economy, private sector is the major driver of the country. The private sector is the major driver of the country's economy. So now, by the time the private sector is weak, it cannot mop up fund to answer the question of what to produce and how to produce adequately. At the end of the day, such a country will be going down, will remain underdeveloped. So there is a need for serious economic plans to strengthen the weak private sector so that it can drive and push the country upward. Of course, you and I know, even in Nigeria today, the private sector is actively involved in massive productivity. From the big Dangote petroleum company to the PS young chap on the street, that is the private sector active. Now, the next reason is inequalities of income. Most underdeveloped countries have wide income gap. You have an extremely rich set of people and an extremely poor set of people. Now, this gap in income will continue to impoverish the country. So there is a need for serious plan to identify how this gap in income can be bridged or can be filled. And of course, with such gap, it means that there must have been problem of unemployment, which is number 3. So, whereby there are too many idle hands who are capable of increasing productivity, but they are not in the active production sector. So, what it implies is that this problem of unemployment further creates a wide income inequality or income gap. And of course, poverty. The country remains underdeveloped. Such, there is need for proper planning to reduce unemployment, bridge the income gap, and boost productivity and development in the country. Then there is the need for more capital. Underdeveloped countries need huge capitals. That is why countries like Nigeria keep borrowing. So we need to make plans consistently as a country so that we can attract more investment or capital investment that can foster growth. Because underdeveloped countries need more capital to be able to, speed up development. That is number 4. Then 5. Another reason for economic planning in underdeveloped countries is foreign aid. Foreign aid. Like I've explained earlier, that for the fact that Nigeria's economic plan is one of the best in the world, it is very easy for us to attract foreign loans, foreign aids in the area of agriculture, education, and otherwise. Then what's the other reason for the economic plan? It is for structural change. Sometimes there is a country, most underdeveloped countries are monocultural in nature. Most underdeveloped countries are usually monocultural. Sometimes they just predominantly depend on agriculture. In our own case, at some point, it looks more like what we depend on is our petroleum product, crude oil. So now, for diversification, for to change the structure of the economy from what it currently relies on to incorporate other sources of income and so on, there is need for economic plan. So you can structurally adjust the country and then increase the performance of the economy. So these are the basic reason for economic plan in underdeveloped countries. We've come to the end of this session. We are going to continue from here in our next class. And don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Don't forget to watch, like, share, and subscribe. So subsequent videos will be dropping there. If you have a question, you drop it there. If you have a review, you drop it there. Thank you very much and see you in the next class.